So dinosaurs' bones don't lie. Animals really did used to be bigger. Why don't we have many giant animals around us anymore, at least on land? Prehistoric giants used to populate the earth, and these behemoths include mighty dinosaurs, airplane-sized pterosaurs, massive crocodiles and snakes, and even armadillos the size of cars. But today there are just a few big animals on our planet. So what happened? Why aren't there many giants left anymore? First of all, there's plenty of fossil evidence that the ancient past really did have larger animals, beasts that were humongous but also larger on average than today's creatures. Greg Erickson, a vertebrate paleobiologist at Florida State University in Tallahassee, specializes in ancient reptiles, and he said that ever since scientists unearthed the first known stash of dinosaur bones in the 19th century, researchers have put forth ideas to explain why giants were common millions of years ago but less so today. But no one can point to one definitive answer, Erickson said, so it's multifactorial. Several major differences between dinosaurs and today's largest animals, the mammals, may help explain the loss of behemoths. Along with other giant reptiles, dinosaurs, however, could adapt to different niches as they grew bigger over life, hunting smaller prey as juveniles and larger victims as adults. In part, they could do this because they swapped out sets of teeth over a lifetime. They replaced their teeth constantly, just like sharks do, but along the way, they could change the type of teeth. Erickson said, crocodiles, for instance, go from needle-like teeth to more robust teeth. Mammals don't have that luxury. Put another way, as some reptilian youngsters ballooned into hulking adults, they traded their relatively puny juvenile teeth for bigger weapons, allowing them in turn to hunt bigger meals to fuel their larger bodies. In dinosaurs too, air sacs likely extended from their lungs to their bones, creating sturdy but light scaffolding. Edinburgh University paleontologist Steve Broussard told Scientific American, and that gave dinosaur skeletons that were still strong and still flexible but lightweight. That helped them get bigger and bigger and bigger, Broussard said. The same way that skyscrapers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger because of the internal support structures. Of course, though air sacs helped make for strong, lightweight bones, no animal could actually get as big as a skyscraper. Now that's because body weight grows much faster than bone strength as animals increase in size, as physicist Neil deGrasse Tyson explains. Mammals lack such air sacs, though, that can invade the bone and lighten up the bone, Broussard said. So elephants' size or a little bit bigger, that might be the limit as to where mammals, at least on land, can get. You can't really get mammals, it doesn't seem, to be the size of dinosaurs. As warm-blooded or endothermic creatures, mammals also need a lot of fuel. Elephants are fuel endotherms, and the dinosaurs, at least the herbivore dinosaurs, probably mostly were not. This is what Garit Vermeij, professor of geobiology and paleobiology at University of California, Davis, said. So he said the food requirement for, say, a gigantic elephant would be perhaps 5 times greater than that of even the very largest dinosaurs. Paleontologists have debated whether dinosaurs were cold or warm-blooded, but current science places many animal species on a gradient between cold and warm-blooded bloodedness, and dinosaurs were probably on the low end of the warm blood range, Erickson said. That made a large body less energetically expensive for dinos. Huge size also required the right environment. In a 2016 study published in the journal PLOS ONE, Vermeij concluded that giantism depends mostly on sufficient resources produced and recycled by highly developed ecological infrastructure. In other words, the ecology needs to produce sufficient oxygen, food, and habitat to grow a truly giant creature. Such ecologies had seen great development by the Middle Triassic period, near the beginning of the age of dinosaurs, Vermeij writes. And in one potentially important environmental change, ancient atmospheres had higher concentration of oxygen. This may have played a role in gigantism, more oxygen, particularly among the insects. Wingspans among prehistoric biggest bugs tracked ancient increase in oxygen concentration, a 2012 study in the journal Proceedings of National Academy of Science reports. Brewers of gigantism should not forget the crucial ingredient of time either. Though animal lineages tend to get larger over the generation, it takes a vast amount of evolutionary time to reach giant sizes, Erickson said, and mass extinction events tend to wipe out larger creatures, Vermeij says, so these events can leave giant animal slots unfilled for tens or hundreds of millions of years. It took about 25 million years for the first mammals to reach a ton in weight, he said. In the case of woolly mammoths, decimated by climate change, and human hunters just 10,000 years ago, it may not be a coincidence. Climate change meaning the impact of the Clovis Comet and the Ice Age. Okay, so it may not be a coincidence that we modern humans don't see such huge creatures. Our own ancestors hunted them, so they got killed off not so long ago. For Vermeij, the most comprehensive explanation for decreasing size comes not from physiology or environment, but from social structure. He said the evolution of organized social behavior, not just herds, but really organized hunting in mammals, introduced a new form of dominance, he says. Group hunting by relatively small predators makes even very large prey vulnerable. Individual gigantism has in effect been replaced on land by gigantism at a group level, and this is what he wrote in the 2016 study. That is, smaller individuals working together, as happens with wolves and hyenas, for example, may constitute a more effective way of getting big than building a huge body. As a result, gigantism lost its luster on land, Vermeij wrote. Social organization may also help explain a rather giant exception to the timeline traced here. In the ocean, the biggest animals to ever live still exist today, the blue whales. Sea life, Vermeij said, makes long-distance communication more difficult, hindering the development of complex hunting groups. The evolution of such groups has happened on land much more than, at least until recently, that has happened in the ocean, such as with killer whales, he said. This is by Michael Darr on Life Science. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.